Hi, Jason Knott with CE Pro, and I'm excited to be joined today by Ian Roberts, Director of Education and Customer Experience at Savant. Hi, Ian. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Jason. Thanks very much. Appreciate you putting this together.
We are talking specifically about the smart home, and let's talk a little bit. Savant, obviously one of the most recognized names in the industry. What are some of the challenges that integrators are facing out there right now in the smart home area?
Sure. I'd have to say, foremost, it's probably in the development of their talent internally. I get into many conversations where, someone grabs me on the phone and they ask me, hey, do you know someone who's, looking for work right now? And, we're always looking for that ideal, perfect candidate to add to the team. But I don't think we look hard enough internally to develop who we have on staff and make them into those smart home professionals that we need them to be. So I think that's, that should be a long-term, important focus for, every integrator that is in the business.
Speaking of manpower, what are some ways that Savant systems help integrators maximize their manpower productivity and profitability?
Sure. So, I think this goes way back to, the fundamentals of why Savant exists, and that's really to make that deployment process much more efficient. So through our blueprint software, automating a lot of those mundane tasks where, you're building macros or automating things and having to, figure out the timing of when things switch on or switch between inputs and all of those things that don't need to take up time. So we automate a lot of that portion for you. I think there's also, a bit of a challenge in the field where, you rely on very specific talent to deploy these types of sophisticated systems. So one of the things that we've launched as of last year is this new Savant Studio iPad deployment tool, which I think really makes smart home deployment much more accessible, allows us to really develop more of the team into that programming resource and really get those simpler profile jobs out the door.
One of the keys for integrators' profitability these days is standardization. What's Savant doing in that area?
No, that's great. I think that's an important aspect here. Definitely out in the market, there's a reliance on, maybe specific programmers to be able to deliver the same level of user experience or same interface, whatever it may be. We've really provided a curated user experience through the Savant system where you can have all of the members of your team be knowledgeable about Savant and whether they're deploying a system in, a New York City apartment or possibly for that same client at a residence down in Florida or in Los Angeles, they can be sure that they're delivering that consistent user experience. And there's a couple of, important factors there. One is that that experience for your client is consistent. It's going to be an ease of use that they get to enjoy. They don't need to know how one home works versus the other, but then also you can spread that knowledge and spread that programming resource across your entire team. You're not reliant on a single person to deliver that product each and every time for you. So I think that's important as far as us scaling our businesses, having an integrator be able to spread their wings and do more in the market. Specifically when we look at, what Savant has done with our 4K video over IP solution, as well as our AVB enabled IP audio solution, those have been designed from the ground up to be one cohesive system. So getting signals from side A to side B, making sure that we can enjoy all of the content everywhere that we like, and that's not a huge challenge where we're introducing 100 little black boxes to extract this audio or send, signal A to point B. We really try to address, those very common applications today.
Certainly, AV over IP is one of the more complex subsystems that integrators are going to connect. What is the kind of the full breadth of product range that Savant has now?
It's definitely wide reaching. I think, we've seen a natural evolution in what technology represents in a home. It started maybe more so on the audio video switching side because that was what was complicated, way back when. But now, the end user, the homeowner wants to enjoy their space and really put focus on that. So whether it's through the partnerships and development that we've done with smart lighting and specifically with color technologies and fixtures, that's a key way that homeowner can personalize the light in their space and really focus on the quality of that light and how it affects their enjoyment of everything else that they've invested in. But Savant's role in that is presenting what we consider the most intuitive interface to access those features and make it simple for people to connect with. So lighting is a major focus. Energy is equally dominant here, where that's on the forefront of a lot of minds. Energy conservation, management. Look at all the people that may have a hybrid vehicle. Or looking at putting some type of battery backup solution or solar or something attached to their home. We need a smart way to automate those types of systems too. So you mentioned this next generation of lighting control that we've introduced that basically installs into a standard load center or breaker panel. This duals as an energy management platform at the same time, so that we can decide as the homeowner, how do I want to direct the energy in the home? We see tons of homes with generators, and there's backup power in that sense, but we have to define who gets power, what circuits get power very early in the process, and there's no flexibility to a solution like that. So we've introduced this really as initial offering to address how do we send energy around, and then also with our relationship with RaisePoint Energy, having these sophisticated solutions that can bridge together all forms of generation, so solar, wind, fossil fuel generation, really combine those into what we call as a microgrid, and decide how we want to deliver that energy through the home, and really give the tools to the homeowner to manipulate that over time.